Hey guys, what is going on? Rush here, and welcome back to an episode of Cards and Castles Hidden Combos, where today we've got a bit of a story behind the deck list. So before we jump into the deck for Doctor's Dog, I'm going to go ahead and quickly explain the premise behind the Doctor's Dog deck list. So a while back, I had this great idea of messing around with Witch Doctor and Fenrir. This energy that lies in Witch Doctor's last will popping, that doing damage, and then Fenrir subsequently gaining attack, because when you take damage, Fenrir will gain attack. So I kind of ran with it for a bit, and the games that I ended up playing with it, originally I wasn't too confident in the deck's ability, and after a few games I kind of mentioned that I was going to leave the deck alone for a while, for the time being, and kind of gave it off to someone who was also interested in the deck, that person being Asteroiy. He kind of took the list, he modified it a bit to even incorporate some Last Will synergy stuff in there, and from there he had some great success with the deck. So after seeing that, I kind of was re-inspired to make the list and maybe try to follow along in that Last Will synergy to see where the deck kind of goes from there. And I was really actually happy with the games, the initial games that I played with it. So with that being said, if you guys want to go check out Asteroiy's video on the Doctor's Dog deck, I will leave it down in the description below. You can go ahead and be sure to subscribe to him as well. Growing channel, of course, not only on YouTube but Twitch. I'll leave the YouTube stuff, of course, in the description. But with that aside, let me go ahead and show you guys the Doctor's Dog deck list and what we're going to be rocking with for today's games. Alright folks, and here is the deck list for Doctor's Dog. Now, I kind of already spoiled what the premise of this deck was back in the introduction, and that is pretty much some Andrew Fenrir shenanigans used by Witch Doctor. So let me kind of go ahead and explain here. As I mentioned before, Fenrir and Witch Doctor have this nice little synergy between them, where Fenrir, of course, will buff his attack whenever something takes damage, and Witch Doctor's last will effect is to deal 3 damage to a friendly ally. So in doing so, if you pop Witch Doctor, you can potentially get Fenrir some nice bolstered attack without having to trade any sort of additional units initially. But Asteroiy kind of took that idea further and decided to really put a Last Will focus on the deck here, and that's why Andrew is in here. Andrew, of course, can get really nasty in terms of size here, especially with the amount of Last Will units are running in here, with Witch Doctor, Rider, Lumberjack, Banshee, and there are a few more that you can throw in as well, on top of it, like Salahar Spitefish if you want to, Cockatrice as well if you really want to go ahead and go the full Last Will engine. But I kind of stuck with those for now, just because there are some other things that I wanted to kind of experiment in the deck with as well, which I'll kind of get into momentarily. But the premise being, you can either make a really big Andrew or a really big Fenrir just off the Witch Doctor's Last Will ability. Dealing damage to friendly units here, you can even knock out your own Last Will units with that and continue to buff Andrew. Or, like I mentioned, dealing damage to just a friendly unit in general means Fenrir's attack is also getting big and nasty. So, with that being said, guys, let me go ahead and take you through the deck list to show you some of the other features we've got going on in here. Obviously, the Last Will engine is pretty prevalent, like I mentioned. Cards like Lumberjack, Rider, Banshee, Witch Doctor we've already covered, but there are other things too. Some just good generic tools like Bestial Rage. Getting that Rampage is always appreciated. Dagger Storm is the early form of removal here. I figured the deck did kind of need it. While having Centaur is nice, the extra doesn't really hurt. Elvish Thief and Hovel, just generic good stuff. Pirate units, Elvish Thief will help you ramp out into maybe an early Andrew or an early Fenrir, or get some nasty stuff done with Witch Doctor as sort of like a 1-2 punch. And then Hovel, obviously, no pirate deck, is without Hovel at this point. Armory Blacksmith, of course, are generic global buffs in the deck as well, followed up by Manticore, which I figured was a nice inclusion to the deck because of how meaty some of these cards are. Andrew can get really big and scary. Witch Doctor alone is 4/5. So if you kind of throw Manticore out there, it's pretty difficult to kind of deal with a 4/9 body that's kind of sitting on your face, turn 3, turn 4. Or like with Andrew, just a giant unit that can grow to sizes like 8/11 or, anything like that. It's just scary, so Manticore helps in protecting us a little bit there as well. Centaurs as well in the deck. Druid decks, always love that companion reach. Love to see him in here. Following up that, we've got the Dwarven Scope here. I decided to run the Dwarven Scope as a experiment for now. Kind of harkening back to the old days of Scoped Fenrir. I think that can certainly make use of Dwarven Scope, but like I said, I'm still kind of testing it out for now, but that's in here as well, 2 copies. Onslaught, another form of removal from pirates. Love to see that in here. And also draw. Helps with the draw instead of just having Lumberjack for draw. Andrew Fenrir starts the deck like I mentioned, but Minotaur as well in here for some extra beef. Execution for the direct removal, and Mordok to round out the list because Mordok is just scary. But with that being said, it is going to cover our entire deck list for now. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get to some games and see how Doctor's Dog performs in the ranked ladder. Alright folks, in game number 1, we've got a great start here with the Salahor Rider Witch Doctor early on. I would like to see Mana Cord maybe synergize with the Witch Doctor, but hey, that's fine, I guess. A little nervous against the Warlock Druid. Could be some pretty burn-heavy stuff we might be running into, so that could mean our Witch Doctor falls fairly easily, which is going to be a shame here. We'll start things off with the Lumberjack, see where things go from there. Look, he's thrown out the respect. Fantastic, probably a viewer of the channel, as do most people who throw out the. Okay, well here I'll give you the greetings for you to play your card. There we go. God damn it. So it looks like going to be a Lumberjack to start things off for both ends here, which is fine. We're going to go ahead and take that trade here, see if we can draw something a little bit more useful. I guess we'll pull out the second Lumberjack here, start things slow. Don't want to go into the Rider or Witch Doctor just yet. Maybe Witch Doctor next turn, obviously. Well, actually, we didn't have gold last turn, but you know what I mean. As we're going to see a Primordial Flame start to rush us. That is no bueno. Alright, well, see if maybe we can't do a little bit of cleanup here. Let's see, where was my card? And there it is. Fantastic stuff there. We'll check that later. And then we're going to go ahead and do some damage to the Primordial Flame. Especially, well, more so that he was weakened by the Salahor Rider, which is great, because we can get Witch Doctor in there to kill next turn. Right? I imagine you're not gonna companion rush me right out of the gate, are you? Oh, you want it. Oh, you want the companion bum rush. Oh, I can see it. You want the companion bum rush. Well, we're going to Witch Doctor the Primordial Flame. That's obviously going to do more damage to us. We can Onslaught the Hunter later, unless he throws a buff, which I think he just wants to start throwing companion spam at us, potentially. Show me the first of it. Which one is it going to be? That's not going to kill the Witch Doctor, but good effort. Yeah, that's not going to connect the way you want to, so, which is fine for me. I think we're just going to Onslaught the Elvish Hunter here, get a bit of a Lumberjack defense as well, so I could start potentially powering up these Andrews that we have in hand. I think that'll be the play to go. Now that he lost the Hunter, probably Companion going to be a bit more expensive to play. Hopefully that's not all Companions in his hand, because that wouldn't be too well for him. With Centaur costing like 4... Yeah, it won't be good. But looks like he's got a bit of a rebound. Keeper of the Door. Going to be the card that comes out to play. That is fine. Oh, wow. You know what? Let's just go with the Andrew for now. And hold off in engaging him. We have things like this Minotaur and Execution, which will do good work to clean it up, but not something that I expect to see out of the Warlock Druid Companion, unless this might be just a good stuff deck that he put together, which is, you know, also fair here. We might see some of those Companions in action, though. He got close to my face, just kind of rushing in here. What are we seeing out of him? Okay, yep, the Centaur. Gonna probably hit the Witch Doctor, I assume. Okay, my assumption was wrong. So it looks like he's just going in straight for face here, which, okay, I mean, simple man. He did say he was a simple man, so makes sense in that regard here. And he goes with the Lava Font as well. Very interesting choices to see for sure. I think let's go ahead and risk the Witch Doctor connection here to get rid of that Centaur. And it'll hit the Lumberjack, which is fantastic. A double buff for our Andrew. We love to see it. Although I think In order to clear out this, let's throw that Minotaur beef up close and personal. He'll get a Horseman, which is fine. Anything but the Wraith, I think, is fine for us at this point here. Banshee would have been even better, because we can, of course, use it to power up our own Andrew, but obviously not going to be the case here for now. I will probably have to use this Andrew to get rid of the Lava Font here. There's nothing in his deck that can't really get that Lava Font closer, which is kind of curious. I didn't, wow, come he didn't really throw it right here when he had the Centaur, but hey. Easy oversight here. So Horseman comes out, hits our castle for an additional 3 damage. Looks like my game is going to start to break because it's been on for a bit, and that's fine. We'll get that fixed up after this game before game 2. But for now, Injured Trent going to go ahead and make that connection to finish off our, whatchamacallit. That's not good. I can't forget the name of the card. Minotaur. Injured Trent to kill the Minotaur. Fantastic memory. We're going to go ahead and get our second Andrew out and then follow up with that Banshee aggressively so we can start getting some more last duel buffs. Again, apologize for the game breaking. I just had it on for a bit. We played a couple of games today, so to be expected. It happens. But hey, I'm curious to see if we're going to see... Okay, Killer Rabbit, the card of choice here. Drain life on the weaker of the 2 Andrews. So this bunny going to go ahead and get a bit of a strength buff, but he will also inadvertently give ourselves, or our Andrews, excuse me, a bit more of a boost thanks to the killing off of Banshee. It gives us an Arc Fire, which is great, except I don't know if I run the mages in this deck to justify burning it right now. But with that being said, I think what we can do... Bop you, slap for 8, move this aggressively. I guess follow up the Thief and then call it a turn. And if he can't get rid of the 8-11 this turn, it'll probably be game over for sure. Yeah, probably. It'll probably be game over. So, but we'll see. We will see for sure. Okay, Blaze is going to be a card that comes out. All right. Nice little value there that added the Blaze, although he needs to kill off my castle in 5 gold with nothing on board to make that more valuable. Yes, no. Maybe so? Question mark? Come on, you gotta just give it to me at this point, my guy. Yeah, Forest Watcher, not going to be the card to end it off. It will do some damage to Andrew, of course, but not really doing enough to kill it. So that will be the game here. Going to throw out in the Armory, slap for 9, slap for 5, kind of keep it clean and simple, as his name suggests. So with that being said, our first match with the deck is a success. But let's go ahead and jump into our second match here after I fix the game and see if maybe we can't replicate that same success. Alright folks, in game number 2 about to commence, we've got a bit of an interesting scenario here with the Andrew in hand as well as the Medallion. I think I'm going to just sack away the Mordok here and see if maybe I can't pick up something a little bit cheaper. Centaur does definitely provide a nice curve going from the Hovel to Banshee to Centaur to Andrew, so I do like to see that a bit. Although our opponent is running the yellow-red, so... never usually like the sign of that, because obviously they always have a bunch of nasty little surprises for us. I think I'll start off the game by going into the Hovel and seeing maybe if that gets burned off. If it does, great. I'm not necessarily looking to keep it at the moment, but hey. If he's got it, he's got it. Okay, interesting. So he passes the following turn as well. Let's go with the Elvish Thief for now and try to avoid ourselves showing that it is a Last Will deck. I know, I actually responded, so now he's trying to... Okay, I apologize. But hey, looks like we're going to see a Flame Storm, which is great for us. We'll follow up into the Banshee play here. And that Flame Storm kind of confirms to me that it is either Last Will and no interaction. I mean, either or. Those decks do decide to run it. And then we do see ourselves a Darkbender. Okay, and the Banshee push back from the Fear. Fair stuff going on right now. I think this does lead us to maybe pop into our Andrew here. I don't see why not. Maybe we could have onslaughted the Dark Bender, but I kind of want to see where he goes with it first before jumping into it. My main concern is that sometimes there are these little decks here and there that decide to run Demonic Rage. But looks like the stable is going to indicate more of the Knight's direction. Alright, so that is fine. Okay, he goes to the Banshee, so it does give ourselves the power up there. Oh, because he can do that. Yeah, makes sense. Ooh, how do we want to take this? I think let's go ahead and onslaught that man away for now. Ooh, I just realized I could be giving him some serious Luminaris value next turn. Alright, well if he's got it, he's got it. That'll be interesting to see if he decides to pull the trigger on a Luminaris value here. I mean, granted, it doesn't do too much. The Andrew is still a very prevalent threat on the board here, so. And doesn't have it, looks like, for now. Goes into the Armory, so that's going to give his Questing Knight a bit of a buff here, which is fine. That'll do some good stuff. That'll probably connect well with the Salahar Rider. Priest as well, so, okay, really putting in the, making sure that Questing Knight does survive. The last hole damage not really landing where we needed to. And then Priest doing some wacky wobbly things up there. Oh, and he Witch Bolts the Hovel. I was wondering when he was going to get rid of it, but... Alright, I guess better late than never, I guess. Oh, here's what we can do. Rider... Centaur Coin. Don't hit the Dark Bender. Hey, we nabbed the stables. That's going to be a good hit for us. Not really the global buff, but hey, it's still a global buff in some regard, so good that we hit that. Am I ever going to use this Mystic Journey that I have in hand? I have no idea. Okay, so reinforcing a little bit of draw cycling here for him. Inspire, getting some soldiers out on the board here. Knight of Flowers and Berserker. Either one would be good. Well, actually, no. Everything trades into the Centaur. He has to sacrifice something into the Centaur, and he has to kind of accept that. Or, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Yeah, with that Berserker. Very nice. And then Priest. Yep, Priest's gonna block. Yep. Very nice. So, where does that leave us? Leaves us in a not very good position. Did that... Oh, that all landed right there. That's fine. We'll push this and see where it goes. We'll see if he's got the big body in deck to deal with the 8-11 Andrew. I know. I apologize, buddy. Is it the same one? It is, and he's going to be in the video. But that's fine. He's fine. Alright, so a reinforced landing down again, so more cycling happened for our opponent. Into the Questing Knight, which he pulled from the Inspire, throwing down the stables as well. Alright, so trying to just throw as much body block as he can here, but more defense. The second Mana Core pull is absolutely nasty here. That's what we love to see. Gonna mean we take that without any sort of penalty, and then we can rush in here, even doing a little bit of... No, I misclicked. I meant to push him up here. I fat-fingered it and put the Minotaur back an additional space. Unfortunate, but I still think the game is pretty well in our hands at this point. Not a whole lot that's going to be able to kill this from hand directly, being in the Warlock Crusader. I would have given him a chance if he had things like a Pirate, so, I mean, Mercenary's Execution for sure. Okay, Dragon's Fire hits the board. Lumberjack's Last Will, reinforcing our Andrew even further, so only really 1 damage from the Dragon's Fire, which is fantastic. Blue Firebolt's the Minotaur, which is fair. He's going to have to probably do that to kind of keep himself alive. But what we're going to do, put the Andrew back here. Russia Mordok up. Rush the Elvish Thief up, and I think that's going to be game. Single draw still, and I don't think he's going to have a way to deal with all of this. So, Doctor's Dog, the success, 2 for 2, looks like, which is fantastic stuff. We didn't really see Fenrir come out as much in this time around, but that's still fine. We did see why Andrew kind of works so well here, and especially with Witch Doctor, like in Game 1, when you get that crazy synergy of, you know, Witch Doctor connecting, maybe getting one of your own smaller last will units here, and then giving Andrew that immense buff. So, really good to see that come out in that first game. But overall, between both games, I think Doctor's Dog did very well indeed. Alright folks, and with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy this hidden combos. Really limited you guys think of the Doctor's Dog deck by leaving your thoughts down in the comment section below as always. And while you're down there, if you haven't already done so, be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it, share with your friends, and of course subscribe if you're new or haven't done so already. It is the best way that you can show your support to the channel. We are steadily growing. We are pretty close to reaching that 1K, a little over 200 subs away. So I'd appreciate if you guys mind helping me on that journey and showing your support again by clicking that subscribe button. No additional cost to you. But with that being said, that's to do it for me for now. So until next time, stay game.